the only, the classic Halloween.
Hey guys, this is Brandon McCulloch from Stereoknife. I'm super excited for the Halloween episode of our podcast. We've got everybody in the room. We've got Josh, we've got Amaris,
Black Dahlia.
Black Dahlia, and we've got JD from the Museum of Death. The Museum of Death? Why not the Museum of Life?
Because no one would come.
Dude, so we've known each other from Frolic Room, and we've become fast friends, I think.
Absolutely.
I really admire you.
No, I admire you too, man.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
So let's just dive right in. So one thing I like to do is crowdsource questions from people at the bar I met you. So I'm going to just go with some generic questions that I got from people that I met.
Go for it.
Is there a murder case that was too gruesome even for your museum?
A murder case that was too gruesome for the Museum of Death?
Yeah.
No.
Quick one. You never ask yes or no's, right?
What?
In general, no.
You asked me, I just told you, man.
And then
you asked me a yes or no question.
Shockingly, and I don't think it's that shocking, but some people were wanted to know what your religious beliefs were.
Oh, I have no religious beliefs.
It's never come up?
No, I'm not religious at all. I find that it gets confusing for people and very convoluted, and just I try to stay out of politics and religion.
But do you kind of quietly have any religious
No,
beliefs?
if I was going to be religious at all, I'd probably be a Buddhist.
That's the safest bet.
Yeah.
All right.
It is.
What, I'm running through these.
Do it, man. Come on, baby.
What movie do you find scary?
A scary movie. Oh, let's think about that for a second. When I was younger, Halloween.
Really?
Yeah, fuck yeah. When I was young, dude, and I first saw that, it scared the shit out of me.
One, two?
One, dude. The first Halloween scared the shit out of me. Yeah, the first one scared the shit out of me.
Is that the one with Johnny Depp?
No, you're talking about
Nightmare
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Elm
I like that. That was scary too.
think
Fucking
so.
waterbed scene fucking freaked me out, dude.
What scared you?
Yeah, exactly. What's
Fucking Freddy, dude.
just coming in your dreams?
Yeah, dude, it's fucking freaky.
That is freaky. Because
Yeah,
you
freaky
can't
shit.
control that.
Yeah, freaky shit, dude.
Every-
Come on. I mean, when you're younger, dude, now I don't get afraid. I mean, now I know I'm about Hollywood, It's like nothing,
No, but when you're a kid,
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was scared. But now it's like, dude, I visit people on death row and shit, and nothing scares me.
jeez.
Did your parents let you watch the scary movies?
Fuck yeah, dude. My parents, I had no parents, dude. Fucking, they let me do whatever the fuck I want.
You were just born a virgin birth?
No, not at all. Then it's like I had a family and stuff, but it's like it was boring. I was so normal when I was young. It hurt.
Wait, what do you mean? You were normal? So you weren't allowed to watch it? Were you
No. I was able to watch everything, but it's like when I started doing weird stuff, I used to have a pet crab, and I used to dig the animals up and put their skeletons together, stuff like that. And I always asked about what death was, and no one would answer me because it was something they didn't want to deal with.
Especially in that time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, come on. I'm 64 years old. I mean, I've been around I was born in the 60s.
So not a lot of people stapled skeletons together when they were kids and stuff. I was a little bit of a pyromaniac, but you went for
That's
bones.
a good sign of a serial killer.
I thought it was really?
Yeah.
No, the digging up.
Wait, we
No,
should
not at all.
we should use Aquanet and lighter and just
Yeah, but did you light things on fire?
not
Well, that's not a pyromaniac then.
just what's a one down?
One down from what you did?
Just liking fire, but not.
No, fire it's okay to like fire and stuff like that, but when you start getting off on lighting structures and stuff, that's a little bit too much.
That's too much.
When did you start kind of this fascination with death?
I've always been interested in death because I've asked ever since I was growing up. I wanted to know what happened when you died, and no one would answer my questions. Teachers, parents, all that. They'd always think that was weird because I asked it, and it's like death happens to everybody. It's not a bad thing. It's like the problem with our culture is that we don't talk about death until it's too late. You know, we don't deal with it. Where you have the Mexican culture and they're down with it. They know what's going on. You know, it's like
There
death.
you go.
Death is no big deal, dude. I mean, that's going to happen whether you like it or not. You know, and if my thing, I look at it like this: if you're worried about dying, you're not living.
So they're in a tangle, like a perfect tangle, like living and dying. What are we doing right now? Some people
Right
say
now,
we're dead
breathing.
right now.
We're breathing right now. Well, I believe it's heaven's when you have it, and hell's when you don't. So it's like, it's one of those situations like, again, you know, if you're afraid to die, then you're not living your life to the fullest because you're worried about dying, you know, and it's like,
Right.
people have a lot of hangups on that. And that's that's one of the major problems we have in our culture.
Our fear of death.
Yeah. That has a lot to do with the church.
Because we're not supposed to know what happens to us
No,
afterwards. And we're
like-
supposed to think some people go to heaven, some people
No,
go to
no.
hell.
The thing is, it's like we're programmed at a young age to think that when you're born, you know, everything's good. But with the church, what they do, the first painting they ever commissioned was a picture of hell. You know, and the reason they did that is they held it up and they wanted, you know, their followers, and they said, if you don't follow us, this is where you're going.
Fear.
That's right. They deal with fear, and it's like that's what happened. And it's like, I don't have time for that. Because I know right now, it's like when you're done, hey, if you live a good, solid life, there's no reason to be afraid of death. None at all.
You're absolutely right.
I know. I'm
So
right.
you're
Yeah,
like,
I've
so a lot
been
of
doing this
people,
for a long time.
a lot of people might characterize you as someone who like is a fear monger in a way.
Why would that be?
Because, but you've
I don't hold up
you've
pictures of
explained
fucking
that.
hell and tell people, you know, that this is where you're going if you don't fucking, you know, believe in us. I'm a curator. You know, that's what,
Yeah.
if you go to the Museum of Death, everything you go into the museum is like things that have happened outside of my control.
Right.
You know, so it's like people.
You're not responsible for any of the curation.
No, of course not. You know, and the reason I show that stuff is to give people a kick in the ass, so maybe they're a little bit nicer when they're walking down the street. They can say hello to somebody.
It's informative. You're getting
Yeah,
people-
I'm a historian. You know, that's all I am. You know,
I love it. I love it. This makes me want to talk about the Louvre robbery.
I know that's
There's
crazy ass shit, right? Fucking crazy. But you know, there's never been a museum of death in the world, ever, ever, ever. So it's like we're on the cutting edge of doing something that no one wants to deal with. But that's when people complain, that's when I know I'm doing right. If everyone got it, then I wouldn't have to exist.
Well, this brings me to something that is close to my heart. So I think it's a risky business that you've gotten into. And
Why would you say that?
well, the reason I say it with respect.
No, I understand.
I think
that,
it's
but why?
really cool that you, and I believe your partner, Kathy, like took this kind of a chance like on this.
It was a beautiful accident. Yes.
And a lot of people, like, we all have our dreams. Like, there's even that British guy's like, what's your dream?
Yeah.
But yours is wild, and it's done really well for you.
Yeah, it's great. But again, you know, I didn't start out to start the Museum of Death. It was a beautiful accident. You know, and it's one of those things that once we had it and we saw what it did, then we focused on it. And that's when it got bigger and bigger and bigger because we were really, you know, trying to, you know, make it grow.
That's cool. And I don't want to reiterate interviews you've done before, but will you give us like a quick take on the past? Like, so it started as a curation art exhibit, and you just saw some
back in the
traction.
day in San Diego when we started it, we ran an art gallery, and at that time, we were doing like serial killer art shows and stuff like that because I used to write to serial killers. This is way before the internet, and I was collecting all this artwork, and I was also creating weapons of execution. You know, I was building like guillotines and stuff like that. And my wife always wanted a museum. And then when I moved from our art gallery on 6th Avenue, that was between two gun shops, to 5th Avenue, I researched the building and I found out it was the first mortuary in San Diego. Okay. And at that time, my wife said, hey, I want a museum. And I was like, yeah, I'd love to give you a museum. And I'm thinking about it. And that's when we had the gallery and the bookstore upstairs on the floor in the mezzanine. But we had the basement. We weren't doing anything with it. I'm thinking about it. It's like, I read the history of the building and found out it was the first undertakers in San Diego. You know, it wasn't a funeral home, it was an undertaker, right? And they had, you know, steam baths and stuff like that. And we found out there was a story.
Wait, educate the audience. What is an undertaker versus a like pallbearer? Like versus like
the pallbearer's different. Undertaker's the same as a mortician. It was just before they had the word mortician.
someone who like gets the dead body.
Yeah, take care of the dead
paints
body.
him up, puts
Well, they
makeup
want to hang them
on.
up. I mean, that sounds gruesome, but no. Back in the day, dude, we had parlors in our houses. You know, when you walk into an old house, if you go into a house from the 1890s or 1920s, sorry, they have a parlor. And when we died, we would take the dead person, we'd lay him out in the parlor so everyone could come and visit them.
Parlor.
Oh, yeah, that's what the parlor is for.
Yeah.
It's a wake.
There's a whole room for
Right.
that.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I've seen
So
horror
wait,
films with
Is
that.
that what they call it? A wake?
No, it was a parlor, and a wake was something a little bit different than
Got
that.
it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay. But you're displaying the
But dead,
body.
yeah, the
You have, like, a
deceased.
wake
Yeah,
cabin.
and that's
In
how.
the house.
Yeah, it's like that's what we used to do. And now we don't do.
Cool.
Hey, most people under 30 to this day, they don't see a dead body until they're way over 30. It's crazy.
Right.
It's really clinical now.
Well,
You know, I-
shelter.
Yeah, it's like
I
they
think
hide it
it's-
from us because they don't want us. It's a way of control, dude. It's a way of control. That's as simple as that.
But it was common to have.
Oh, back in the day, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, a woman would have to have. Okay, back in the day when America was starting, a woman would have to have 6 children to have and 3 of them would live. The other 6 would die.
Right.
Right. And the reason they would have such a big family is because they wanted people to work on the farms. That's how it worked, And so that's why they had the parlor. Death was common back then. They weren't afraid of it. It was a thing that happened.
Why aren't you afraid of it?
Why am I not afraid of it? Because I know one day I'm going to die. Why would I be afraid of something I have no control over?
It's such a practical response.
I mean,
but
seriously. I mean, why would you? What's the point of being something that you have no control over, worrying about?
I have no response to that.
Yeah,
sir.
I mean,
That's
come on. I mean,
absolutely
like I said before,
wild.
if you're worried about dying, you're not living, man.
Right. You're like so desensitized, right?
Yeah, I mean, come on. I mean,
Because you're
there's
around it all the time.
there's so much death in our world, right? It only touches us. And I'll tell you this too: when you die, it only hurts living. People, that's who gets hurt.
Yeah.
Not when you're dead, you're dead. You become worm food, for Christ's sakes. That's what I think.
Has social media helped your business?
Yeah, of course. That's how it
Especially
really
now,
grew.
people are seeing
Well,
death and people are
it's like
seeing
the old
destruction.
commercial. It's like the old commercial in the 70s with the hair conditioner. It's like I tried it, and then 4 other people tried it, and then 8 other people tried it, and then 16 other. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, I do.
Yeah. And so it's like social media was. I didn't start out with social media at all, but when it hit, it blew up because it was just a way to get your word out. I've never advertised anything in my life, ever, ever, ever. Just recently I got a publicist because my wife went, "Oh, you should get a publicist." I go, "All right, I'll just do it for her." And it's like, I have so many articles, so many television interviews, so much of that stuff because it's an interesting subject.
That's right.
And it's like,
So
I mean, life is boring. It really is. I mean, and it's like, I'm the kind of person that I want to find out about stuff that I don't understand or I don't, doesn't, some things that I don't know about, everything else. Like, why would I want to fucking keep following the same thing over and over and over? It's terrible. I
It's kind
mean,
of like a modern Alfred Hitchcock. Like that's what you do with Psycho a little bit. Like, have you seen the Ryan Murphy, like the Monster series?
no, I haven't
They
seen
have
that.
they have a new one with Ed Gein. It's like all about him, but they go back in time to like Alfred Hitchcock and like his mentality on making
Cool.
Psycho was. He was like, we make all these movies about like fantasy and love, but no one's talking about the real stuff about death. Death is around us.
I've
I
got-
want to make a movie about
Then
serial
get-
killers.
yeah,
they're,
exact-
they're living amongst us, serial killers.
Yeah,
but no
and
one's-
and dude, you don't know who a serial killer is.
That's
They're
what
so
the point
normal, dude. It's
That's what it's
ridiculous. They're not
supposed to be,
mine.
yeah.
They live right next door. But I got a great Anthony Perkins story.
Oh.
Hit us
Yeah,
with it.
yeah, great story. And I'll tell you what it is. It's like, well, I'm a big artist and I love art. And so one day I was at a show with my wife, and it was at LACMA, and it was a exhibit of a painter from Germany that was huge painter. And I'm standing there next to an exam, the crib notes. I'm standing next to the painting. I'm looking at it, and all of a sudden, this guy walks up next to me. I didn't know who it was, and then an old lady walked up on the other side. It's like she looked over at me, and she looked at him, and she goes, "Anthony, I didn't know you had a kid." Yeah, and it was Anthony Perkins there.
Oh, wow.
It was, dude. Yeah, true
You're
story.
the child of Perkins.
Yeah. You know what's crazy as shit, dude? I was blessed by the Pope.
Really?
Which
Yeah.
Pope?
Yeah, which,
John Paul in New York City.
A lot of kids get blessed by popes, but it's not a good way.
all the kids don't get blessed by the Pope. But then,
I'm
dude,
just
I'm
kidding,
telling you,
man.
that guy came out and fucking ding on me. I was in New York, and I was only 18 years old, and this guy who I was with, he's like, "Hey, let's go see the Pope." I go, "What do you mean?" I didn't even know who the Pope was at that time. I was young. I didn't know shit. And he goes, "Okay, we're going to go to St. Patrick's." I go, "St. Patrick's, okay." And it's a beautiful place, really gothic. And so we were there, and we waited for like 3 hours, and I'm standing there. He came out, walked right up to me, and blessed me, dude.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
I
just
have
incredible.
guardian angels,
you
dude.
didn't even ask for the like.
No, dude, I was just saying, I didn't even know who the Pope was.
So you being non-religious, like, how does an experience like that, like?
It doesn't affect you at all, but I mean, when people like, from what I hear from other people, what they tell me is like, "Oh man, you know, that's pretty intense."
I'm going to bring it back to some practical stuff. So you just
It's
opened a
not
new
practical.
location in New Orleans.
Oh no, actually, I just had my 10th year anniversary there.
That's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
what would separate the Los Angeles location from the New Orleans location?
The name's the same, but we have a lot of different artifacts there. So every time I open a new museum, it's going to be different stuff.
Yeah.
It takes on the persona of, say, the city it's in.
It's regional.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like the one I'm working on right now is Seattle. So,
What's
That's cool.
significant in
Yeah.
Seattle?
pardon me?
What's significant about Seattle?
Oh, it's got a lot of tourism. And as a museum for it to work, it's got to have a lot of tourism. It's got a dark history. It's very goth. It's just, I know when it comes to business, I have a good business sense and I know that it'll work. Yeah, but I mean, that's the whole thing. I mean, when I went to New Orleans, I didn't know anything. My wife kept me from New Orleans. Dude, I was raised in Florida. I never gone to New Orleans. And I was like, I wanted to go to New Orleans. Her family's from,
Well,
there.
that has such a haunted past.
Well, I didn't know anything about that.
Oh.
And it's like, the thing is, the reason she didn't want me to go there because I love to party. And it's like, she thought, I'd stay there. And it's
Sure,
like, so I went there and I fell in love with the place, and I'm like, why didn't you let me fucking come here? Why didn't you tell me? She goes, and her family's from there. And I met her family and they like, oh man, you were born for this place, and then Anne Rice.
3?
Camera 3 too.
And then Anne Rice was there, dude, and fucking, New Orleans is a really close-knit society, dude. It's hardcore to get in there and run a business, but it's hard to get in there and do a business because the way that New Orleans works is you have New Orleans, that's the city, and then you have the Bokhari.
So you got Seattle, you've got New Orleans.
I haven't opened Seattle.
Seattle's coming up.
Yeah, it's coming up. Every city has its own history, and so what we do is we just glob onto the history of that city, and we create it so it affects, it revolves around what that city is and where it came from with death.
If there was a Super Bowl between New Orleans and Seattle,
I think there was.
death. I mean, not, but a death. A deather bowl, if you will. Who's the gnarliest dude from Seattle versus the gnarliest dude from New Orleans?
The gnarliest player for New Orleans was I forget his name, but he was a kicker and he only had half a foot. And he had the record for the longest field goal in the NFL history. It was 63 yards, and I was like, that's pretty badass.
Wait, did he kill somebody, or he just?
No, but you just said the gnarliest guy. I mean, he's like, I think that's badass. Dude. Look, I like weirdos, dude. I like freaks. The weirder he gets, the better I like it.
Yeah. Who's your first favorite weirdo?
You.
Who's your first serial killer that you really?
Well, I didn't have my first serial killer. Well, he's not a serial killer, but the first criminal that I really like, I like Manson.
Why?
Okay.
Why?
Well, because Manson never killed anybody, and they've created this whole persona around him that he was a serial killer, and it's like, I really do. And plus, he changed he changed the whole world, dude.
Talk about
This whole thing.
Talk about how a church influences people. Talk about one person influencing.
Anyone can influence the world. Yeah, anyone can do that. And the scary part about it is that no one tries. People are a bunch of wimps, dude.
Did you ever talk to Manson?
Oh yeah, I used to visit him. Yeah, I have 3 of his piercing jackets. I have his guitar. I have all kinds of shit.
His music's really good.
It's okay.
I like it.
Garbage dump. You like that one?
I do.
I have a question then.
I dove deep in music.
See, my problem with the serial killers and all that is like, especially with younger people, like they look up to him and stuff, and it's like I can't deal with that. I don't have the patience to think that serial killers are cool at all.
No,
I don't think they
not
are.
at all.
But you could be literally accused of building an industry.
No, they're interesting as hell. That's not how I built the museum. Museum of Death is much more than serial killing.
Okay, why is it?
Well, because that's only one part of death.
Right.
There's much. So death is bigger than all of us, dude. There's so many avenues of death that you can go down. We haven't even touched what death is really about in our museum. I mean, it's like the Smithsonian. Okay, when we started the Museum of Death, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, and to this day, we still don't really know anything. But the Smithsonian, when they started, it's the same fucking thing. It's like the guy that started the Smithsonian. You know what the motherfucker did?
No.
There was only fucking 20 buffaloes left in the country. You know this fucking prick did? He went and shot 5 of them. Just so he could have a fucking buffalo taxidermied in the Smithsonian.
That's like a fire department guy trying to drum up work by burning down a forest.
Roosevelt and him, and they were, but you know what they learned? They learned that it was important to fucking, keep that shit safe,
Yeah.
And they're the ones that put in all the fucking safeguards about all that shit, and that's pretty cool. But sometimes you have to go and do stupid shit before you realize that you're just dumb ass and you make it better.
You're blowing my mind.
Does that make any sense? That makes sense to me.
It makes sense. It makes sense. So,
and I'm an idiot, dude. I don't know shit.
That's not true.
No, I don't know shit, dude. What I know is like nothing compared to the world of around us.
Well, conversely, I would like to talk about your rags to riches story.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm sorry if that's not the correct way to put
dude,
that.
I don't mind.
But when we first met at Frolic, you were telling me you were pretty destitute at one point, and now
oh yeah, dude, up to 10, 12 years ago, I lived in a closet.
And you're a multimillionaire now.
Multimillionaire.
How's that work? Like, give me
Great, man.
Give
I
me
love
the
being a millionaire. I'm gonna be the one with it, dude. Seriously, come on.
That's
And you
a-
know, I tell you what, this is the best part about the museum. People come to the Museum of Death. They give us $20 for admission, and we tell them straight up when they come in. Don't give us your admission price if you can't handle this shit, because it's rough in there. We have people pass out all the time, okay? But the beautiful thing about the Museum of Death is, like, when people go into the Museum of Death, they look around and they come out with a big smile on their face. It's like they feel good to be alive, and they say thank you to me. And they say thank you.
That's
and it's like,
beautiful.
that's badass, dude. Come on. I mean, I have the best job in the world. I have the best business. I don't care what anybody
No,
says.
you do.
And
You
I don't give a
absolutely
fuck
do.
what anyone cares.
Although I've seen a couple of goth kids walk out,
I don't give a
and
fuck.
I feel like you're scaring them straight.
I
They're
hope
like,
so.
now I like
this is
Taylor
another-
Swift.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you, this is another thing. When kids come to the Museum of Death, it's like a fucking rite of passage.
It is. That's
Okay? It's a rite of passage. And it's like, okay, women at 12 years old, they have their period, right? Guys, their rite of passage is going from short pants to long pants. But when you go,
drop,
but when you go to the
I was
Museum of Death
like-
and you see this shit,
Questionable.
and I'm not talking about the internet. The internet is not the Museum of Death. There's no comparison. I don't care who you are, what you are.
Right, right.
That
If
was
you
one
don't
of the
know what's coming around the
questions.
next corner. You know, you're vulnerable. You know, you really are. And it's like, it really is a rite of passage for kids. You know, because it shows things in a realistic way.
Is there an age limit? for the
No,
museum?
everyone dies.
No, for the fucking going
No,
in there.
dude, no, I don't. No, you have to be.
a 5-year-old in there?
We have, and I'll tell you why. It's like you have to have people that whoever brings a 5-year-old to the Museum of Death, right? They're bringing the kid to the Museum of Death. I'm not doing it, and it's for the kid. Listen, I've had 5-year-olds that knew when they're they knew they wanted to be a mortician, and they bring their grandparents, and the grandparents are freaking out, but the kid's fine with it. You know, hey, kids are just smart kids. I mean, kids are smart, dude, smarter than us. You know, we get locked into this way of thinking, and it's like they're smart, dude. It's like, don't think that kids don't see and know everything. They know dude, they're sponges, man.
Yeah.
They're sponges. It's like blockula tabula. You know what I mean?
Is there a fine line between that child being
A serial killer?
Yeah, like
No.
how can you tell?
Dude,
that's
come on. Are you?
Yeah.
Hey, come on. Let me like this. It's like serial killers. I think they can be nurtured and it could be normal. I mean, it could be born in.
Great life.
Yeah, but you look at Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy doesn't have any of the traits that all of the other serial killers are.
Right.
But we don't know if he fucking fell on his head in the park. You
All right,
know?
this brings
We
me
don't know
to
that.
this brings me to one of the questions that I sourced from Frolic Room, which I like to come back to. Do you have a more of a sympathy for a serial killer who has a code?
No. Why would I have why? Why would I?
Like, you know how Dexter only killed bad guys?
Yeah, shit. That's on TV. That's Hollywood shit. Dude, listen to me. If you're fucking going out there fucking hunting down people, right?
Yeah.
There's fucking fucked up. You know, you're you're getting off on fucking the wrong shit. You know, it's like, seriously, they're entertaining as hell and it's very fascinating. Don't get me wrong, but that's not cool at all.
Why are you showcasing?
I don't showcase. That's part of the museum. I don't. It's not the main thing in the museum.
Got it.
The reason I have it is because it's fascinating, and it's like people want to know about shit. And so it's like I said, everything I show, I didn't do. I'm just there to. I'm letting people make their own decisions on it.
Right.
You know, come on.
Catacomb. Have you been to the catacombs?
Yeah, of course, dude. I have a picture of me on the fucking.
Let me see. Like, I feel like it's not a taboo place. Like, that's their grand message is like, you're entering this place and you're gonna see all these.
Let me ask you something.
That's-
Let me ask you something about why would they create something like that?
to celebrate death.
Yeah, dude, come on. I mean,
Kind of like David Lynch.
and you know what's really crazy about that? During World War II, that's where the French Resistance hit out because the Nazis were afraid to go in there. You know, it's like that place is massive. It's huge. It is. There are so many. Think about how many people have died before us.
Yeah.
That is the
Well,
first place I felt really like
Comfortable?
terrified after a while. I felt I looked into like a dark corridor and I was like, oh my god, this place is kind of scary. Like I could feel like souls all around me.
Listen,
but then afterwards I calmed down. It was not
people freak out about stuff
You go
for
back
whatever
to
reason.
this-
And I can respect that. I have a great feeling for people, you know, who look at the dead and they feel bad or what have you. But at the same time, listen, you can't stop death.
No.
We're here to go. Even if you live 99 years in this body, that's nothing if you scope back and see everything. We're ants on this planet. We're not. And to think that one person, I don't care how rich you are or whatever, is going to change it for all the other people, you're out of your fucking mind.
All right, back to the questions. I love it. So, what are the curation parameters for death? Because we're just talking about serial killers, but other people dying.
Wait, curator?
The
Like
curation
what-
for a museum.
Like what do I decide what to show and what not to show?
Like, for example, are we talking plagues?
Anything that deals with death.
is available at the museum.
No, no, because right now, like that's what a museum does. It rotates exhibits and stuff like that. And it's like, we're a young museum, man. We've been around for 30 years.
Right.
Think about the Smithsonian when they started, okay? They weren't like they are now,
Right.
and it's like, we're not that smart, we're intelligent, but we're not that smart, and it takes time to build something that's going to be like, intensely.
Do you imagine it being equal to the Smithsonian?
Yeah, why
in
not?
Washington, D.C.?
Why not?
How do you choose your curation, though? How do you
Well,
choose what
okay,
exhibits
I'll
to...
tell you this. Like, when I first started doing it, it was the things I was fascinated in, right?
Yeah.
And so it came to the point where I had to have a sign, and I created the Museum of Death sign. I hung it up, and that became a magnet. And that's where the objects came to me, right? So those objects came to me. That's when I started creating from the objects that came to me. But there's other things that, I want to do. But hey, I'm a guy. If you were going to the Museum of Death, you'll see there's a lot of artifacts. It's just not space, there's artifacts, and that's different. So it takes time to, put together a great exhibit.
Sure.
And so
You gotta acquire the pieces. How do you acquire the pieces?
Well, that's like I was saying, dude. It's like the magnet. I search them
It
out.
comes to you.
Yeah, it comes.
Wait, that's one of the biggest questions. How do you have access to all this shit?
Dude, I've been doing it for 30 years. I've been doing this before CSI, before any of this shit. Okay, and when I was doing it, and I was collecting, you didn't pay for the shit. It was given to you. Everyone has skeletons in their closet,
Right.
and once
And
I
they
put
would
that
give you
sign up, once I put that sign up, dude, people are cool, man. People are really
I
cool.
understand. So people were like,
Yeah,
this
they're like,
guy's-
they have artifacts, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to donate to you because
This
this is
right,
what it should
this is
be.
for you.
Yeah, and it's like, hey, the museum is much bigger than I am.
Right.
I am not, it has its own life. It breathes on its own. I just sit there and I open the door.
That's right.
But at the
Yeah.
same time, ask me,
That's
hey,
interesting.
are there things that I don't show? Damn right, there's things that I don't show.
100.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, you
Okay.
have to
Have the police ever contacted you?
no, I'm a museum, dude.
They're like, you
What,
have more.
you ever been to a regular? Have you ever gone to a fucking the museum and they have an Egyptian show with mummies?
Yeah.
So what's the difference?
The
I've
time frame?
What do you mean time frame? I have Egyptian mummies.
Well, I don't doubt
The
it.
Egyptians love death. They
Dude, of course, dude. I mean, that's the whole thing. And it's like, this is the thing. It's like, you know what? I also figured out about having like a business, and I also figured out museums. And one of the things that's happened is like, I remember this because there was an artist, a photographer. He was shown at this place called the Cincinnati Photographic Institution or something like that. And they came in and they took all the shit off of the walls, right? Because they didn't have museum in the title.
That is another question I have. Do you need a license for what you do?
No,
Because it says
a
the
business
museum.
license.
Just that?
That's it.
It's just a retail store.
That's it.
But
So-
essentially, anything is an art or.
Yeah, it's a museum, dude. I mean, come on, think about it. Think
You're a
about it for a second.
museum.
You think when the Smithsonian started, they had to have a license? Who the fuck would give the Smithsonian a license when they started out 120? There was no fucking shit like that. Now, I'm not a college, dude. I don't have to be accredited.
right.
But even like an HOA in a neighborhood, they're going to be like, the Museum
You're-
of Death
you're
is opened
overthinking-
up
dude,
and we're
you're
trying to do our
you're
coffee
you're
shop.
overthinking it, bro.
Maybe the police.
Oh,
No,
like,
you're over-
better than
Listen, don't you think after being in business for 30 years, I'd already have that problem?
Right.
well, I'm just trying
seriously,
to.
think about it. Come on.
Have you heard of like the Warren Occult Museum? Have you heard of that place?
No.
With the Conjuring.
But is it a museum or is it just the
it's
occult?
Conjuring. They
Yeah, I
have
know what it is,
the
but-
investigators, and they have their own museum where they have like this. They have like all the scary stuff they've gathered from all their
You
investigations.
gotta remember,
like,
what I do is
a rag
different.
doll that's like possessed or something.
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. For me, my
That's
thing,
like-
everything I have, it's real.
No,
It's real
we get
shit.
it.
And that's the thing. It's like the occult museum, that's great, but they're going on things that you can't really prove.
But you
Right.
did tap
No,
in.
it's like a fantasy, dude.
Right.
It
Do
is.
creepy things ever happen in your museum? Like because you have.
That's
these
another.
items?
That's another episode we'll talk about.
No way.
Yeah,
That-
yeah. No,
that
it's too
says a
long. dude. I
lot.
can't go into that,
That
right
says
now.
a lot. Though.
It's too
That-
much.
That says a
But
lot.
I'm one of those kind of people. Is like, you know what? Again, if you're afraid of death, you're not living.
I love it.
Gotcha.
You know,
But
it's
but you did mention that calling it a museum gives you certain parlays or however you want to say.
doesn't
it.
every museum like that?
I don't know. This is my first museum.
I've never,
interview.
I mean, to be honest with you, fucking the police, the fucking firemen, the fucking EM, they love what I do because at least it shows the truth of what they have to do and work every day.
Interesting.
Because
yeah.
I fucking put it out
Right.
there in a way that's like, I'm not fucking pretending shit, dude. It's like, and again, I didn't do any of that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be different. Listen, people take things like totally the wrong. I've never had anyone even like complain or fucking put whole signs up. Like, you know, when people say, "Oh, that's Eve," that's you know, that's Satan. No, that's Satan. You know, it's like, let me tell you something, dude. Death has nothing to do with Satan.
No.
I have a question. Have any Hollywood people approached you to play you in a movie?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not going to talk about that shit.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I'm not going to deal with that.
Hollywood. He's
Who
available.
is your favorite serial killer? If you have one.
They've never been caught.
Oh.
Now.
Oh.
That's fun.
Wow.
Just saying. So do you think Donald Trump's a fucking serial killer? I certainly do. Think about that. Wait, think about that for a second.
I see.
You know, I mean, come on.
Do you think he's smart enough?
He does. No, I don't think he's smart enough. But he doesn't even know. He's so fucking dense. He doesn't know what
Serial killer's smart?
Dude, he's fucking blowing up
I would
fucking boats
think
in the
so.
fucking Caribbean right now, dude.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
Oh, you're.
Come
wait.
on, man. Think
No.
about it.
So he's doing it in plain sight.
Yeah.
Serial killing in plain sight.
You know what a serial killer is, right? It's a person that keeps killing, right? A mass murderer is someone that kills a lot of people at once. Okay.
Right.
What is
Trump is blowing up fucking boats day after day after day.
But does it deal with someone that kills people without remorse?
You don't think Trump has remorse?
I don't
He has no
He
fucking
does
remorse.
talk about heaven lately.
I'm saying it. I'm saying a
Dude,
Ted Bundy.
he's not religious at all. That's a big fucking scam.
No, I'm saying a Ted Bundy. Did he kill these people? Did he have any remorse after he killed them?
I don't know if he's had remorse or not because I can't get into his brain because I never met him. But I think Ted Bundy had bigger issues than we know.
Did
about.
any serial killer that you talked
I
to
wouldn't be
have
able to.
remorse?
I can't answer that question, brother.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but I can't answer that
Yeah.
question. I mean, it's like that's something between them and their own God. You know, it's like.
Right, but there's the. But,
Let me tell you this. I'll show you this. If you're a serial killer, you kill somebody and you keep killing, there's no remorse there.
there you go.
Right.
You know,
So that's just
there's no remorse. I mean, come on.
I
You get
never
remorse-
thought
like
about
Jason,
Trump
you get
as a
remorse when you're
serial
caught.
killer.
That's
You know,
right.
you get remorse when you're caught.
That's
You know,
right.
that's how it works. You know, oh, I'm sorry after you get caught. Fuck you, dude.
right.
I used to be fucking John Wayne Gacy's rep
Wow.
for his paintings.
Oh, before his paintings?
No,
Oh,
when he was in jail, I used to
yeah.
rep his fucking paintings.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you believe like when you look at his paintings, they say that he puts all these secret messages
No,
about
fuck,
getting
dude,
caught?
fuck that shit. Dude, it's not lame.
Like
It's
the
fucking
seven
so lame.
dwarfs, like if you look at the
No,
seven dwarfs
fuck,
when
get
they're
me outta here.
walking, there's like a
Let me
dark,
tell you something.
dark
Listen, that motherfucker used to call me in the middle of the night. If fucking Kathy would answer the phone and she talk, I'm like, I'm not talking to that person, piece of shit. And he gets so mad. He used to write me fucking letters like, oh, I'm gonna fucking sue you. And like it's funny as fuck because this guy, I wrote him a letter back and it's like, dude, you got the rights from Disney to fucking do the Seven Dwarfs. My fucking ass, you did. You know, it's like, give me a break. He said, yeah, I got the rights. I'm like, fuck you. Disney's gonna give you the rights for the Seven Dwarfs. Are you fucking out of your mind? Fuck, come on.
Wow.
He knew about the 100-year rule or something.
There's no idea. Dude, come on, dude.
I feel like this podcast is going to be like 10 episodes.
I know,
because
dude. I told you, dude. I told you. There's so much
You're
shit.
just a wealth of fucking
I'll come
knowledge.
in anytime you want. You know, I'll come in
Dude,
anytime you
I
like.
love it.
Yeah, because I like talking about it. You know, and it makes me fucking, you know, remember the things that I don't think about.
Why
Crazy.
do people come to your museum? What is
Because they want to know about death. Like what I do is open the door and I take their money and I kick them in the ass and I show them things that they probably don't want to see. And then they start thinking about, and when they come out, it's like, do you feel good to be alive? And they're like, yeah, well, fucking be nice. Look at someone on the street when you're walking down the fucking street and say hello. I mean,
It's
come
true.
on, man. We fucking live in a fucking culture that no one even talks to each other.
Right.
You got to kick people in the ass.
This is our Halloween episode. What is the relationship between Halloween and the Museum of Death, if there is any?
Well, I'll tell you what the relationship is. Nothing. Because I do fucking Halloween fucking 365 days a year.
there you go. Every day is Halloween.
Every day.
Every day is Halloween.
And I wear the same costume every year. You know what it is? It's a jacket with knives in the back.
What's the history of that?
I wear that every year. You know why?
Because you got stabbed in the back?
No, I got stabbed in the leg, but fucking, I don't fucking, I've been fucked over so many times I would just wear the fucking jacket with the knives
I
in the back.
fucking love that. That's a cool costume.
Yeah, it's great because
I
I
love
don't have makeup on or anything. Dude.
Backstabbing.
It's easy, dude. Back Sabbath.
Backstabbing.
Here's what's up. That's the end of this podcast. Would you be a guest more often?
Dude, I'll come anytime you want.
Awesome.
Anytime you like. I'll tell you one thing I'm doing right now.
Yeah, talk to me.
I have a big coffee table book being done right now.
Yeah.
And the first 5 issues that are going to be made are going to be covered in human skin.
Love it.
Oh,
Wait,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, really?
Human skin?
Yeah.
How
why-
is that
that?
legal?
No, I don't have to because I get people to fucking donate their fucking bodies to me.
There you go.
So when we fill that shit out on our driver's licenses,
What?
that we're
Donut.
donating. All
No, that's not how it works. No,
It's very different.
right, stay
We
tuned
signed
for.
contracts with you,
yeah,
so
those first 5, dude, there's gonna be worth like 100,000 each. I mean, it's gonna be crazy.
I wouldn't mind donating my organs to the.
You don't feel
Fuck,
shit when
it's
you're
out of the
dead.
book.
You don't feel goddamn shit when you're dead.
All right, we're gonna leave on that. So that's Stereoknife with JD for the Museum of Death.